What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on, America? Yes, your boy is still donning the silver and blue because there's still a lot of good things to take away from what I still consider a bad L. But nevertheless, oh, my camera just went out on me again. But America, you can still hear my voice screaming in the background, letting you know that I'm still here, all right? I'm still here. But nevertheless, it's Don and Rod, the faceless Rod. Don is in the building. It's still all good. We got our boy Scrap back one more time, so Scrap can talk his crap. So he's going to have a lot to say for sure. So listen, Don, how you doing, bro? Take us further, man.
Oh, man, I'm doing fantastic, man. I am so happy about how everything turned out. I'm so happy that the Eagles took care of business. Not only could you not beat the Niners, can't beat the Eagles, probably can't beat Detroit. Anybody that you would potentially have to face in the playoffs, the Saints. I don't know if you can beat the Saints. Listen, it was a great weekend. Of course, my Niners were on a bye. They didn't play, but for a team not to play, it was enjoyable. I'm glad the Cowboys lost. I'm glad. Nothing else I could say about that. We have, once again, our returning guest, Bruce Phillips, a.k.a. Scrap. He, as promised, he is back. I'm giving you some time to get your camera together. But we're going to talk week 9. We're going to recap that. But without further ado, man, let's get into it. We'll try it again. Okay. Well,
so D, you might be able to see me on the back end. I'm coming in on my phone.
Okay, no problem.
Another guest? All right, that's what's up.
I don't see you yet, but
you don't see me yet?
In the meantime, I'm going to bring Scrap in.
All right.
fellas.
Welcome, Scrap. How you doing, man?
I can't complain, man. I can't complain, but I won't complain. That's what I said. I won't complain, man. How you feeling today, big bro?
Oh, man, fantastic, man. Fantastic. Good win. Way to keep the roaches in their place. Way to keep them where they deserve to be.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They're not a contender. And time will tell. There are two teams that at the beginning of the season, or when the season first started, it looked like they were going to be world beaters. And that was the Dolphins. And that was the Cowboys, right? Cowboys blew teams out, and they look like, yo, this is their year. You know, we them boys. But as time progresses, the cream always rises to the top, and we find out where, you know, teams really are. And we know we're going to talk later about Miami. They're frauds. They're frauds.
Absolutely.
Colin Cowherd, I think he described it perfectly. He said they're a fake Gucci wallet. They're a fake Gucci wallet. It looks good from a distance, or he might have said purse. But when you get close, you start to see the defects. You start to see that they're not exactly what we thought they were.
Right. You see the quality.
And the quality is not there. I told you, they try to duplicate what the 49ers are doing, and you know, they're a fake version. You said Temu, right? They're a Temu version of the Niners.
They basically dug out of y'all recycling bin and put a team together, you know?
Yep. Tried to clone the coach, tried to clone the running back situation, tried to clone the scheme, but it just never comes out the same way, you know?
Yeah, it's always a flaw.
It's always a flaw. We're still waiting for Rod, but in the meantime, man, how's everything with you?
Everything is good, man. I can't complain, man. You know, just sitting back. I done went through so many different emotions after this game, and I really didn't know how I was going to approach the recap. But you know, I'm in a good place. I'm in a great place, actually. And Rod's gonna see that in a second. That's why I want him to come back, because I want to hear his take before I get into mine.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
But yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm okay. Can't complain, man.
So let's quickly talk about, until we can get Rod. Let's talk about, what do you think about situation with the Bills? Do you think the Bills? I mean, they signed Leonard Fournette. But what do you think? The Bills and the Bengals. So we made our picks. Both you and I are both 2-1. Rod, I think, was 1-2.
Right.
Because of course he picked his Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't know why he would do that.
And both of you picked Miami, which was a mistake. Miami's counterfeit. I think we got Rod backstage. I'm gonna try to bring him in now. So Rod, you with us?
I think so. Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. There is always, off of a Cowboy loss, there's always technical difficulties. The sound ain't working. Something is going to take place. But if it was a victory, you could hear him from the mountaintops. I mean, he would be the Ricola guy. Now, oh man, the camera, he's purposely unplugging it and pulling stuff out. So we're glad that you came and joined us.
Glad you got it together, bro.
I got it together because, listen, I ain't afraid to face the smoke. You know what I'm saying? It's the Cowboys. Been down since 77, man, so I'm here. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, let me say this. Congratulations to Scrap and to Jalen Hurts on the victory. Jalen Hurts is the only one I like on the Eagles. That's the only one I got love for. Everybody else could kick rocks. But my man Scrap, congratulations. Because I am a good sport. I know how to take my defeat with grace. And so congratulations, my brother. You know what I'm saying? You're a diehard fan. You're not one of these flip-floppy fans. And you got like 3 different other teams and all this stuff.
No,
that's true.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Now, now let me get this, because y'all may only see me because my camera may go back out again. Right? You may only hear me, rather, is what I meant to say. So let me go through this real quick. Okay, let's break this game down, Scrap, and then we'll let you do your thing. You can get your talk your crap. Scrap will talk crap. That's what we should have named the show today. Scrap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it. But it's earned. It's well deserved. I'm gonna talk about 3 things. I'm gonna talk about dominance. I'm gonna talk about details, and I'm gonna talk about defeat. Here's the thing. Okay, number 1, again, like I told everybody, the Cowboys can play with the Eagles. Never had any doubt with that. I did even hear some Cowboy fans saying on Twitter, like, yo, we can play with the Eagles. That should be a good. Like, yo, what are y'all talking about? We've been playing with the Eagles, haven't blown nobody out when it comes to the Cowboys. So we definitely can play with y'all, because at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, y'all are not any better than us. To me, both teams are kind of like equalized to a degree. When you look at the way they play, the skill positions to some degree, y'all got better coaching for sure. But at the end of the day, the Cowboys can play with the Eagles. That ain't a big deal. I'm not worried about that. Let's look at the dominance, okay? When you talk about the domination of the Cowboys, for all intents and purposes, Dallas dominated, right? We know statistically. I'm not even going to mention Dak. We know what Dak did. We lit up that porous, deplorable secondary. Bradbury and Slay, for all bro, them dudes can't cover their heads with that baseball cap. That's how bad them boys are. Your secondary is trash. It was proven. I told you going into the game that that's the weakest link, which it was, okay? The other thing is that when you look at y'all defensively, okay? All right? I think Jalen Carter, did he hit the showers in the second half? I don't know. Because him and didn't do nothing. You look at the all-22, you see my boy, first-round draft pick, left guard, Tyler Smith, manhandling him like he was a little child, moving him all out the space. Okay, my all-pro left tackle, Riddick, should have stayed on the side with Steele, because when he went to the left side, it was like, yo, coach, I don't even need to play. Just let me sit on the sideline, because I'm running into a brick wall over here with this first ballot Hall of Famer. So as far as that goes, we neutralize a lot of what, in terms of your big play guys, okay? I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but I'm just talking about the dominance here, okay? Same thing, AJ Brown.
I understand.
I think AJ Brown, again, hit the showers. Sirianni said, yo, just take that afternoon, take the rest of the evening off. You good, because you're not getting anything. That 125-yard average over the last 6 games, not happening, okay? 6 catches, whatever it was, 66 yards, neutralized. Yes, Swift, what's his name? Your other receiver,
Devontae
definitely had a big hit, no question. Big score, got over Bland, beat him fair and square, no doubt. But other than that, the offense was neutralized. Y'all only have 14 yards in the 4th quarter. The Cowboys defense held up when it was supposed to hold up. And another thing, we shut down your run, your vaunted running game, Y'all only averaged 3.3. Gainwell after the touchdown, non-existent. Swift, non-existent. Nothing happening. We know Jalen wasn't going to run because of the knee. So Dallas, from a defensive standpoint, they did their thing. Offensively, we did our thing just the same. We didn't expect to run well. We only averaged 3.4, 3.3, just about what y'all averaged. Pollard didn't look, Pollard's looking like Pollard. Not, he just hasn't been effective. Not hitting the hole. Not sure if it's the injury that's hindering him from last year, but whatever it is, that burst is not there. Terrence Steele, no question about it. Definitely. I'm getting ready to now morph into the details. I told about the dominance because we dominated y'all, right? We dominated y'all. Statistically, took out all your playmakers. Y'all scored 14 points in the third quarter, gave us another quarter to come back. And this is when we get into the details and then ultimately the defeat. When you look at the details,
wow,
why McCarthy never, ever gave Steele help is beyond reasoning. I have no idea why he did not. And I still don't even know. I don't even know what he was saying in the presser. Not giving Steele any help. Steele was flat-footed as he's been all year. Steele arms, how he was positioned, how he was posting. He was horrible. Horrible. So Sweat and Riddick, anytime anybody lining on that right side was going to have a field day. Since he got the bag and he came off his injury because he hurt his ACL in the middle of the season. So technically, he's not really fully recovered in my opinion. He still probably needs some more days.
We don't want to hear nothing about
no excuses.
No, please let him finish. Let him finish because he is blowing. Do you see the smoke over top of my head?
Yeah, it's a lot of smoke, bro.
I'm dumbfounded right now.
Listen.
Okay.
Yeah, and listen, I'm only giving you facts on the dominance there. You know what I'm saying, Scrap?
Okay.
It's the domination we dominate because you said 42-17. I don't know where that was utter disrespect to my Cowboys. But nevertheless, okay, we look at what the lack of help that Steele got. Then you look at Turbin when we got the ball back in that final possession. I don't know why he did not call a fair catch. You would have given Dallas at least another 7-8 seconds had you called a fair catch. I know my camera just went out. My apologies, guys.
It's
again.
okay. It's
having
okay.
Some difficulty.
Keep going with your take. That's fine.
But here is the thing: if Turbin gets a fair to let the ball bounce, poor. That's a detail. This is where Dallas makes their mistakes. This is where you get coaching versus talent. And the thing is with McCarthy, this is where he lacks. So there was no urgency. We heard Olsen talking about it in the broadcast. No urgency. The drive before the last drive, no urgency. Nothing there. Let me go back to the drive before last when we was in the touchdown situation there with Schoonmaker. Why are you going to Schoonmaker? A third round draft pick. He's a rookie. He doesn't even understand depth in the route. And Ferguson never, ever got deep enough to get the block on to get the pick like he should have. Cook was wide open on the other side like everybody was talking about. We were talking about that the night of the game, how wide open Cook was because CD ran his pick perfectly. Cook was wide open. That goes to Schoonmaker. Not sure why you would even go to him in that situation. He's not a guy that understands depth in the red zone, and he's not a red zone tight end. You should have just kept going to Fergie. Fergie's been lighting it up all game long. So, again, bad details right there. Coming down to the last drive with Dallas again, you look at, again, the penalties that were on the Eagles that literally brought us down the field. We didn't have to work to get down the field. So you're first and goal at the 6 with 27 seconds left. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm looking at the chops going, yo, I'm calling D. Get Scrap on the call now. Matter of fact, I want to do live on this last drive. I want to do live with the 20. Yo, for real. I was so hyped. I'm like, yo, we are going to beat these Eagles right now. All right. But then what do you get? You get the false start, right? Tyler Smith. Then you get the delay of game. Then you get the sack again, Steele, right? I can't even remember the sequence, but we know it was a sack in the play. Steele gives up the sack. Again, you talk about sloppiness. That's that Dallas in terms of its execution. And this is the difference between a team that is a Super Bowl contender and then a team that really, really has the ability to go deep in the playoffs or even into an NFC championship game. This is the struggles that I have with Dallas. You got the game won, and somehow you find a way to implode. The overthrow, which I don't even think he was open to begin with, Tolbert in the corner in the end zone on that last drive, didn't make sense to me. Then you get CD on the very last play of the game, 3 yards short of the end zone. Didn't make sense to me. Why would you not throw the ball in the end zone? Dak balled out. We already know. I expected Dak to play a good game. We already said it in the pregame that Dak was going to throw the ball and he was going to have a good game because the secondary, again, is bad. And so what I'm saying is, in dominance, but we lost in the details, what ultimately yielded the defeat. And so for the Cowboy fans out there, this is the thing that we got to be able, which is going to be very difficult to do because a guy like McCarthy is very stubborn. And we say to McCarthy in the presser, it was yesterday, in fact, why isn't Cook getting the ball? And you know what his response is? Well, I don't play fantasy football. Like, are you an idiot? Like, what kind of response do you make when you say you don't play fantasy football? Cook, what the heck did you bring him there for? He had 2 targets in that game. You targeted Michael Gallup 5 times. You targeted Michael Gallup almost 3 times as much in the last 4 games than you did Brandon Cook, a guy who's got 4 1,000-yard seasons with 4 different quarterbacks. And so we don't know how to use him, and it just bothers Cowboy fans to see that you got the talent, but you don't know how to use them. This is what hurts us when it comes to critical games like this. Eagles, good team. No question about it. For Dallas to have dominated the way that they did, to take A.J. Brown out of the game, to take Devontae out of the game, to even take Goddard out of the game, to really be able to dominate that.
Literally take Goddard out of the game. Break his arm.
No, that was a dirty play. That was dirty.
Play. That's what you get for, bro, you stiff arm it. What do you think? It's football. It's football. Come on now. That's football. That ain't a dirty play.
Let him finish.
He can't tackle him with his arm. Why can't he do that? That's not dirty. He held him with those.
Go ahead.
He folded his arm and put all his weight on it. It was dirty. It was a dirty play.
The same way y'all did the Turpin on the sideline. He was 15 yards out of bounds, and y'all still tackled him and slammed on his leg.
Even if we snapped Turpin in half, is he a vital player to your team?
Yes,
Goddard's an impact player.
He's a Pro Bowl special teamer. Are you kidding me? Turpin did he not score Sunday night? And he's a threat. Did you see the kickback? And that's another thing. Those 2 penalties. We put the Eagles in very good field position. The stupid penalty on the face mask, and then with Aubrey kicking the ball out of bounds. So we gave the Eagles very good field position in that second half. Again, like I said, Dallas dominated that game. They should have won that game. But they did not win because of the
you got to pass it now. Scrap.
Go ahead, Scrap.
You said dominated? All right, go ahead.
We dominated. We did.
Listen, D, do me a favor. Put the blue 10 up, right? Take Rod in there because he's clearly needs to be in concussion protocol. He is concussed right now. I'm saying like me and him have 2 total different definitions of domination. Dominate, y'all absolutely did not. Y'all did not dominate. Now, I got 2 takes on this game. One, what I didn't like. The play calling, okay? Our offensive coordinator, I'm going to tell you this. I'm right. We did everything in our power to give you guys that game.
I agree with that.
If you follow me on Facebook like Don does, he could tell you I was going crazy. Okay. The second drive, first play, Swift runs for 8 yards.
Right.
Next play, drop back the pass, gets sacked. Next play, incomplete pass. If on the first down you run for 8 yards, you're supposed to run on the second down. Okay, because we have an unstoppable play that's going to get us 1 to 2 yards. Okay, the name of the game, what we've been doing this whole season is, time of possession. We've been dominating time of possessions. Okay, Sunday, for some reason, we got out of that mode and wanted to, for some reason, just impose our will on y'all. Okay, we know we are the better team. Okay, we gave y'all a false sense of hope, letting y'all hang around when we could have put y'all away. Like, we had y'all on the ropes. All we had to do was throw our flurry and make face. Yeah, I want to see your face. Listen, we had y'all on the ropes. All we had to do was throw our flurry, let the referee take the mouthpiece out and wave the hands and just stop it, because you guys were done. We let you back in the game.
Oh my God.
We were clearly not watching the same game. Okay. All right, let's go past
all
that.
I'm gonna let you finish your take. I'm definitely
gonna finish my take.
Good.
But what I'm saying is, the first half, okay, I went into the locker room. I'm like, oh man, these guys are. I didn't know what to do. So you know what I did? I dug deep as a fan. I went downstairs. I got a glass. I cracked 3 eggs. put it in the glass and drink it. Okay, that's what we do, man. I reached down and just grabbed something extra to pull us in that second half. The second half, what did y'all end up with in the first half? 17, right?
Yeah.
Y'all scored
17-14.
Y'all scored 6 points in the second half, right?
Yeah, we did.
Do you realize that in the red zone, y'all are bottom 5 scoring in the red zone?
And y'all bottom 5 in defending the red zone too. Which really, and if you think about it, Dallas, those red zone stops was on Dallas. Y'all didn't do anything to stop us.
Because y'all suck in the red zone. We let y'all shoot yourselves in the foot. How do you throw the ball to a tight end? He's what, a half an inch short? Dak's running for a 2-point conversion when he steps out, big foot. And that's not even where we faltered the most. We faltered on our end with the play calling. 3rd and 3, okay? You run the ball. Okay, you run the ball 3rd and 3. We could have bled the clock on y'all, and y'all would have lost by 11. Us being stupid with the play calling gave y'all the opportunity to come down and score that little touchdown before Dak ran out of bounds. 3rd and 3, you air the ball out. No.
Yeah,
3rd and
I
3,
didn't know what y'all was doing there. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, that was
3rd and 3,
that was a bad play call.
Run
that was
the
arrogance
ball
on Sirianni, I think, though. But
exactly. I don't know if it was him or the offensive coordinator, but somebody needs to be held accountable for that. 3rd and 3, you run the ball, okay?
Absolutely.
Because if on 3rd you don't succeed, I would have gave y'all 2 tush pushes. I would have. Because if you don't get it, if at one first you don't succeed, you tush push again. Do it again. We get 2 to 3 yards on that play every time. On the first I would have grounded and pounded y'all. So y'all confidence today is really a false sense of confidence, because it was more so of what we did to let y'all stay or hang around in the game more than what y'all did to be dominant, because y'all were not dominant at all. The second half, y'all didn't even come out of the tunnel. If we didn't do any of the dumb stuff that we did, y'all probably would have only had 17, like I said. But us being stupid, we allowed y'all to score a late cosmetic touchdown. Like I said they would score a late cosmetic touchdown to make the game look and feel a lot closer than what it was. But the game was not that close. Okay,
there's no way you could sit there and tell me that game was not close. That you didn't feel all throughout that game that there was so did you feel that the Eagles had command of that game even when y'all went up
half
28-17? You felt like y'all was in command of that game?
Yes, absolutely.
Even as bad as your offense, because y'all burned a lot of clock in the 3rd quarter. So we didn't hardly even have the ball in the 3rd quarter.
And that's what we were supposed to do in the 4th quarter. That's what we do. We are a time of possession team. Okay, for some reason in the last couple weeks, we turned into this pass-first offense. We're supposed to run the ball, keep the clock running, because all we got to do is get within 1 or 2 yards, and it's 4-down territory, even in our own territory. You saw that our first drive, we went for it on our 32, 37, because we know we have an unstoppable play.
Well, McCarthy really should have challenged that spot, because that was a bad spot.
We would have got it anyway. We would have got it anyway.
It was maybe a 3rd. It would have been a 4th and 3, because he was 2 yards short. It was a bad spot. But Scrap, how can you say that you think that the Eagles dominated this game when you could almost feel Dak was going to move the ball no matter what, even in the plays where Schoonmaker coming up short, Dak stepping out of bounds. Again, that's all Dallas just imploding. It had nothing to do with y'all giving us this. I will say y'all kept us. Y'all gave us
at
opportunity
because
of the play calling. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that but what I'm saying is that when you talk about having the game in control, offensively, you're speaking about the things y'all could have done differently. I agree. Y'all, the play calling definitely kept us in arm's length in terms of being able to win this game. But you gotta know that once we got on there, your defense stood no chance against that. The CD could have been
until y'all got in the red zone,
and it wouldn't have mattered.
In the red zone.
So I'm gonna
between the 20s, CD was a monster. But once y'all get into the red zone, y'all are no longer a monster. So
I agree with that. We struggled.
It wasn't what y'all did. We tried our best to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. That's what we tried to do. But on the other side of all of my complaints about that, I got a delivery today. You know what I got? I got this. You see this?
What's that?
These are my
that?
spoils.
Your spoils.
To the victor goes the spoils. Absolutely. So you can take your moral victory, right? You can take your moral victory, okay?
I don't see it that way, but
no. You feel a lot better about your team. Hold on 1 second, Don. You can take your moral victory, right? You can have that. You can say, you know what? We can beat this team. Okay.
I already know we can beat this team.
Exactly.
I already know that. So it's not a moral victory for me.
It is a moral victory. And I seen all the Cowboy Nation saying the same thing. Y'all can take that, right? And y'all can feel good about that. But it was more so what we did to ourselves than what y'all did to us. Okay, so I'm going to allow you to treat yourself.
Okay.
You can get some ice cream. You can get ice cream, right? But no sprinkles.
No sprinkles. I can just get no sprinkles.
Like Flo from Progressive says, sprinkles are for winners. You can have ice cream, but no sprinkles.
Hey, I love it.
So let me say this. I watched the game, and so I'm going to give you what my take was. Okay. As far as the Cowboys, Rod, what I don't agree with is how are you dominant, or how do you dominate a game that you lose? It's impossible. You can't dominate a game that you lose, right? And I heard your whole take. You talked for about 13 minutes, and 17. You didn't place blame on whose fault it was. If
I told you it was the details in Mike McCarthy and what he didn't do.
So it was Mike McCarthy. The players play the game. So I guess Mike McCarthy at this point is low-hanging fruit. It's easy just to make him the fall guy.
But go ahead, I'll let you finish.
Dak took a horrible sack. You do not take a sack 8 years in the league in that situation.
How was he supposed to move? Everyone says that. But when you look at that tape, where was Dak supposed to go when Steele got beat so badly? It was like a beeline straight to the quarterback. Where was he supposed to go? And he can't throw the ball because he's in the box. So if he's inside the box, it's intentional grounding. So he can't throw the ball away. So
throw it in the direction of a player. You got to throw it in the direction of a player.
Everybody's running down. So you had everybody running straight down. Everybody's running out. There's nobody in that vicinity. So where was he going to throw it in the middle of the field and get picked?
Y'all were in the red zone. Y'all not battle cat in the red zone.
No. That sack. Remember, when that sack came, we already got a penalty. So we was already back. Now, Dak could have maybe thrown it and launched it. I mean, I'm not saying he couldn't have got it but in the back of the end zone. But if you look at that play and see how fast Sweat came in there, Dak had no chance. If he came in there so quick, what was he supposed to do? And Dak is not like a really elusive quarterback. Now, he can break pocket as we've seen him do the last couple of weeks.
He's serviceable.
No, he's serviceable, but not that quick. Not that quick. I mean, he's not Lamar Jackson.
So how does it dominant? If you're saying...
I'm going to say, okay, here's what I mean by dominant. I'm going to tell you about dominant. Everything that the Eagles, I'll put it to you this way. The Eagles weren't dominant. That's maybe I should word it that way. Because with A.J. Brown lighting the world on fire, right? The running game being what it is, averaging 120-something yards a game, right? None of that was a factor in this game. So the play calling, though I agree with some questionable play calling on the Eagles side, but come on, guys, y'all got to be fair.
But isn't it based on ultimately winning the game?
Huh?
Isn't it based on ultimately winning the game? And
I'll
give you a good example. Miami clearly took Travis Kelce away. Took him away.
Right.
He had 16 yards or 14 yards.
Right.
Took him away.
Right.
They still got the W. So now we say that Travis
took away several weapons. We took away several weapons in that game against the Eagles. That's one weapon. They only got one weapon to take care of. So that's what Miami
don't
did.
Don't do that.
Take Kelce and let the other no names, like they did against the Eagles, beat you. That's what you're gonna see that again next week. The no names gonna beat them again. But what I'm saying is that Dallas took away a lot of firepower from the Eagles in that game. Yes, Devontae got the touchdown, got the bomb, got that, no doubt. That was one play. But they did not hurt us in the way in which, like to Scrap's point, they have dominated. A.J. Brown has averaged 125 yards the last 6 games. The dude is balling. These are NFL unprecedented records. Dallas, you got to give us credit, fellas. Dallas
A.J. Brown scored too, right?
Yes, he scored.
So what do we? I don't want to. I'm missing something.
Right. But what I'm saying is, what
are we talking about?
What I'm saying is, right. But scoring a touchdown and really being able to be the difference maker in the game is different. Those guys did not make a difference.
So 200 yards, nearly 200 yards in a loss is more important than What did he have? 60 yards and a touchdown?
66 yards. And
a win?
Had 53. Right, but D, if we're breaking the game down, we got to break the game down. I mean, ultimately, the Eagles won. I mean, we can just go ahead and say, all right, Eagles won, and then the show is over.
Well, we knew their secondary is torchable. Sam Howell proved that the week prior. So that's there's no epiphany that you can throw on them. You can't run on them. And so CeeDee Lamb being your offensive focal point, we knew that he was going to look great, and he did. But it all boils down to victories and losses, right?
Absolutely.
Because when I say that, like when the Niners lost to the Browns, Cincinnati? And I said, when I said to the Browns, and when I said we drove it down the field, Brock Purdy drove it down the field, and ultimately the kicker missed the kick. You still blame Brock Purdy. You still say Brock Purdy isn't the man. He isn't what we thought he is. And you kind of lump it all together.
I sort of blamed your defense on that game, on that loss, though. Purdy lost the Minnesota game. He looked bad in that game.
Yeah, he did. But was he concussed? We don't know this. We don't know these things. Ultimately, he lost. We're not going to make excuses for it.
Dallas lost. I'm not making
excuses. You
excuses.
spent a lot of time making excuses.
No, here's what I did. I built up a case to say, and this is to Scrap and the Eagles' credit. I built up the case that Dallas, what everybody said Dallas couldn't do defensively, we did. For all intents and purposes. I'm not saying that we were. No.
They said you would win. You lost. I mean,
no.
They said they couldn't win.
And you proved them right.
You proved us right.
So we did know a lot. And people pick Dallas, but let me tell y'all this. And there's no
Cowboy fans pick Dallas.
Anybody could not walk away from that game and look and think that the Eagles are that much more dominant than the Cowboys. I told you, Scrap, either we was going to sweep y'all or there's going to be a split. Y'all losing in Dallas. Trust me, y'all losing in Dallas.
So it doesn't have to be. So how many Super Bowls did Tom Brady win where it wasn't dominant victories? You're acting like I said, the Cowboys mentality is a Saturday mentality. It's a run up points. There's no style points. No. A victory could be 1 point. It's a victory. I never
took that away. But that's what I'm saying. I never took that away. The Eagles won the game.
So they're a better team.
No, they are the better team. But that doesn't, just because they are the better team doesn't mean that that just gives them a lot to win the NFC East. Like the Cowboys and Eagles. The point I'm trying to make is the Cowboys and Eagles are going to be neck and neck for this division. Like the Eagles is not, they 2 games up, but they're gonna take some L's in these next
2.5. 2.5 games up.
They're gonna take.
It's
they got
our
a bye
division
coming
to lose.
I don't believe that. Not at all.
They got to collapse.
I mean, right now
they ultimately have to collapse for you, because in order in the same division to make up 2.5 games and you play each other one more time, I don't know how difficult your schedule is, but I do think you still have some tough games still to go.
The toughest games we got left, right? We got Miami, we got Buffalo, and we got Detroit.
Well, Miami, they're frauds. And I think they're bigger frauds than you guys are. So I think you'll beat them. I think you'll beat Miami. Miami is just smoke and mirrors. They're not as good as.
Okay, so let's look but let's look at the Eagles' next 4 games. You got the team, we got Kelsey and the Pips coming up, right? And they're gonna smoke y'all like they did in the Super Bowl.
Don't do that.
And then you got Buffalo. Y'all might beat Buffalo, but Josh Allen may go off on that deplorable secondary.
Okay.
Then you got San Francisco. Okay, that's going to most likely have Debo back. Trent Williams is back. So they're going to be at full strength. Okay. And then you got Dallas again. And you got Seattle after that. So you got a tough 5 game. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tough games coming up. Y'all going to
saying Seattle like they
2 and 5. Y'all going.
You said Seattle? Did you see what happened to Seattle?
That's what it's not the fact that he said Seattle. It's how he said Seattle. His voice got reset. Y'all got Seattle.
In Seattle? What
are we doing?
They're just good for coffee roasting. They're not a good team. They're not a good team.
No, they're not. They're not. And the Eagles,
Geno,
that's why I said 2 and 5. Y'all going. Y'all may beat Buffalo, and you'll beat the Seahawks.
But if they go 2 and 5, you're saying they're going 2 and 5 or 2 and 3 over their next 5?
They're going 2. I'm sorry, 2 and 3. My bad.
So if they go 2 and 3 over their next 5, and they're 2.5 games, are you saying that you're going to win all of the next 5 games? Because that's the only way you make up You have to be almost perfect, and they have to stumble with a 2.5.
Okay. So let's look at this. I'm gonna look
put
at
him on the injury report, man. He's concussed, man. I'm telling
you,
he has a concussion, man.
So we got the Giants next week.
That's a W. Okay. That's an automatic.
The Carolina Panthers the week after that.
Automatic W.
We got Washington after that.
We don't know.
Then we got Seattle, and don't try to prop them up now.
You see how he changed Seattle? You see how he tried to. And so who's your fifth game?
Who's your fifth game? Seattle was bad against Philly.
Who is your fifth game?
Who's your fifth game? So that's the fourth, and then the fifth game is Buffalo. Okay. I think Dallas is going to win. I think we win all 5 of them games. Quite honestly. Who are we lose to? Who we gonna lose to? We lose to the Giants and the Redskins.
Are you playing in Buffalo? Or is the game in Buffalo or is it in Dallas?
That's in Buffalo.
That's a loss. That's a L.
I don't think so.
That's an
L.
You
got Miami. Okay, so let's look at this, right? After that, you got Miami and Detroit. You got Washington. If we was to lose, I'd say 2 games we would lose out the rest of the way, right? We could lose to Buffalo and we could lose to Detroit. And that's in Dallas, by the way. We could. You say Miami's a fraud.
So you're going. Miami is a fraud.
I can't get over how he said Seattle to us like we couldn't beat them, but then he downplayed them to them like they just gonna smack them around.
I said y'all gonna beat Seattle. You're only gonna win 2 or 3.
You like y'all got Seattle. Don't forget about Seattle now.
So, listen. I hope everyone that's watching sees how delusional Cowboy fans are.
Oh my God!
Delusional, son.
It's like it's a close sweep. We dominate in a loss. This does not make sense. You lost the game, yet you find the silver lining. That's the silver in the blue and silver. The silver lining. Well, you gave a lot of silver linings to your loss.
No. What I said, and I'll say this, and this is my last take on this. I'll say this. Watch this. I'm not looking at it like other Cowboy fans. There's no silver lining to this because we can beat the Eagles. We're either going to split with the Eagles or we're going to sweep them. The Eagles are not sweeping us. They never have done that in a very long time. Dak has always played well against the Eagles, and so has the Cowboys as a team. So the Eagles are not, they dominate everybody else, but we don't see them that way. We respect them. They still are the better team. They are the defending conference champions. I respect it. I think Jalen Hurts is definitely top 5 in the league as a quarterback. Top 3, arguably, even if you want to go that far. They are a good team. They got a good front 7. The problem with the Eagles and what's going to hurt them is that secondary. You're not going to win a Super Bowl with that secondary being that bad.
They got to win their division first. Their focus is if we go in steps.
You still ain't winning a Super Bowl. You could take all the step, you could Bobby Brown all the way to the Super Bowl.
Right.
But what I'm right in that you're gonna lose in that moment because you might even get to the conference finals championship.
No, they may or may not. But
worse now than it was last year.
So let me ask you a question.
Last year.
Let me ask you a question, and then we're gonna move on.
So disrespectful. So disrespectful.
If we go team for team, right, and we won't even insert the 49ers in this discussion.
I got one thing to say after this. Go ahead.
If we discuss head to toe, top to bottom, coach to coach, I would say I give the nod to the Eagles.
Absolutely.
If we say receiving core, the nod goes to the Eagles. Right?
I would say that too. Yes.
If we say running backs, the nod goes to the Eagles. If we say quarterback, the nod goes to the Eagles.
If we say is the Eagles, you just say the whole offense. They even got a better line than us. But it's the defense that's going to have to stand up. Their front 7 is no better than ours.
It's just the corners.
And their back end is not as good as ours.
It's just the corners.
The corners got a whole receipt. You don't think corners are important in the secondary?
Of course it is. Of course it is. But your corners, people can score on your corners too.
Devontae Smith just did it.
One play, not a game.
It was a touchdown.
See, you got to down. What was A.J. Brown doing the last 6 games? I mean,
he was going off.
10 people, leaping, catching with his feet,
we
pulling
didn't need
balls
that
down out the sky. None of that in Dallas because I'm telling you, Deron Bland is that dude. He got beat, but Deron Bland, and I told y'all, he is a very good corner. The weak link in that, who y'all did pick on, was Jordan Lewis because actually that's Bland's spot. Bland had to move from the slot and play corner when Diggs got hurt. So when you look at the whole front, the whole back.
How long has Diggs been hurt? How long is Diggs? Please don't act like this. Diggs
got
hurt in warm-ups. Diggs has been hurt.
The point I'm trying to make is that Bland had to move to the outside. J. Lou now becomes the weaker link in as far as the coverage is concerned. So that's why the Eagles, you saw the Eagles picking on him. He was clearly the mismatch, no doubt, as they should. That's what you should do. Offensively, the Eagles are a better team. Coaching, they're a better team. But I don't think they got enough to overcome that bad secondary that they have. Because if Riddick gets neutralized, and Carter gets neutralized, and those guys up front get neutralized, y'all good against the run, no doubt. But y'all are, not even, y'all can't stop anything. It's either y'all gonna give up a penalty or you're gonna give up a big play. Y'all can't cover a bed with a sheet. It's not happening. That is a bad secondary. Clay and Bradbury are horrible. Fellas, y'all cannot sit here and tell me. You got to be concerned.
Are we moving?
It's Slay. It's Slay, not Clay. You said his mama named him Clay. You gonna call him Clay?
But that's what he is. He's Clay. That's what he looks like. He's getting burned like Clay. Clay, son.
Let me ask you a question. Are we moving the goalpost here when you are now saying it went from I'm not worried about them in this division, and I had said early on when we were talking about the Niners and the Cowboys, you said that was the Super Bowl, and I said, hey, you have a team in your division, and at the time they were undefeated. You got to concern yourself with them first. Now fast forward to playing them, whether they beat you by 1 point or 6 points or 5 points, they got the W. So now it is looking like the teams that you would potentially have to play in an NFC championship game or in the playoff teams you're having problems with. So my question to you is, how do you feel confident that the Cowboys are going to be able to turn it around? And yes, there are some soft games in your schedule that you should be able to beat. So you obviously gonna make the playoffs. Winning the division, don't see it happening. And if you're on the road, depending who you have to play, if you're gonna have to go to Detroit, Lord knows you don't want to go to San Francisco. So you guys, your best bet is to win the division. And right now that doesn't look possible.
It's not gonna happen.
So you mean to tell me Eagles are up 2.5 games. They still got to bye, right? Mm-hmm. They got a very tough series of games that are coming up.
They do.
Okay, games that they can, but especially
they're gonna lose week 13. They're gonna lose week 13.
All right,
don't do that.
You saying they're gonna lose to the 49ers?
They are,
right?
absolutely.
Don't do that.
They're gonna lose. I can't wait for that.
Don't do that.
I'm gonna sit right here with some popcorn.
Listen. When do we play you guys again, Rob?
I'll tell you right now. So Dallas plays the Eagles.
Week what?
In week let me see. What week we just finished? Was that 8?
That was 9.
9. So 10, 11, 12.
He is concussed.
13,
he is.
Told you.
14. I think it's week 14. It's December 10th. Shut up.
Wait a minute.
It's a Sunday night game. December 10th.
So wait a minute. Rod, you might be on to something. You might be on. If you play them week 14 and we play them week 13, that you might win. Because they're going to know they were in a game. They're going to know.
11, 12.
You sure?
It's week 13. Week 13. We played on week 13.
No, impossible.
Yeah, because we only got 8 games, right? Dallas is 5-3. This will be what? Our 9th. This will be week.
Nah, we played them week 13. I'm almost certain of it.
Okay, so see, I don't have the weeks. I just got the dates. I don't have the weeks.
Yeah, he's concussed.
Because you got buys in there, so that's what I'm saying. So we
listen.
Don't show our
by the time we play y'all again, right? We're gonna have the division wrapped up. So we might actually rest our starters.
17.
We might actually rest our starters for that. Oh, game.
Stop it. Yo, Scrap. Come on, Scrap. Scrap. Listen.
Week 13, it is the 49ers.
Scrap.
Listen.
Scrap.
This next stretch that we go on, y'all gonna be on here every week saying the only reason the Eagles won was ... That's what's gonna happen. We're not losing none of those games.
All right, so Scrap. Okay.
My quarterback is 10-0. My quarterback is 10-0 against teams above 500, and that O will not go.
Okay, so let me can I just say this real quick?
Absolutely.
Week 13, the 49ers play the Eagles. in Philly. Week 14, the Eagles play Dallas.
And Dallas.
That's the Sunday night game.
No, wait. Did you say when y'all play the Eagles? What week?
Week 13. And then you play them week 14. There is a high probability that you guys are going to lose.
Okay. Because y'all played them in 3 more games. Y'all played them in 3 weeks.
Right.
So that's week 13. That's going to be week 13.
Yeah. We got Kansas City, Buffalo, then San Francisco, right?
Right. Yep. That's it.
Yeah. 3 W's. Okay.
So Scrap. Okay. All right, Scrap. Realistically speaking,
I just did.
Let me run down. Y'all beating the Chiefs?
Yes.
That's in Kansas City now. Y'all beating the Chiefs.
I don't care if it was in Germany. We're beating the Chiefs.
Okay. Y'all beating Buffalo?
Buffalo. Do I got to do the soldier boy get up, walk away, and look back and say?
Okay. All right. Okay. You say y'all gonna beat the 49ers. Y'all gonna beat the 49ers. All right.
And the reason why we're gonna beat the 49ers is because they're gonna come in on emotion, trying to show us what they should have did last year. And we're gonna show them what we did do last year. We probably won't hurt Brock Purdy again because that was a freak accident. He was throwing, Reddick went to, hit his arm and whatever, and his elbow got messed up. We didn't mean to hurt the kid. But even like I said, even if he was healthy, they was not winning that game. Okay. He's not that guy.
So you don't think the Eagles are gonna lose another game this year?
I say
y'all gonna have only one L this whole year.
No, we'll probably lose another game on the back end.
Who you gonna lose to? So you got Dallas, which I believe y'all gonna lose that game in Dallas.
Yeah, because we're gonna be resting our starters.
So you're gonna rest your starters with 4 more games left to play. You got the Giants, the Cardinals, and Giants.
Depends on who we got. Who?
So after Dallas, you got Seattle, the Giants, the Cardinals, and the Giants again. Your back end is real weak. Your last 3 games is cupcake games, no doubt about it.
You got a whole cupcake tray of games. You didn't say that about y'all's.
No, I'm not saying no. You play who's in front of you. I'm not one of those. I'd say, look, you beat a team.
You only eat what's on the menu. We only eat what's on the menu.
But what I'm saying, right? But what I'm saying is, so you don't think that the Eagles are going to lose another game? What game do you see between next week and to the end of the season y'all losing to? Out of Kansas City, Buffalo, San Fran, Dallas, and Seattle. Then you got the
maybe Kansas City. Maybe that might be a late score field goal. We might lose by late field goal by 1 or 2 points because Andy is tough off a bye week, and I don't really see it. We haven't had a nice sample size of Sirianni off a bye yet because it's only his third week, and our coordinators are horrible. But the rest of those games, like, we're not losing to y'all. Like, we're going to sweep y'all, and the next time we play y'all, we're not going to.
Oh, that's going to be the 42-17 game. That's the 42-17.
Yep. We're not going to leave no doors open because we left the door open. Let me tell you something. When I was in school, right, I was a class clown, right, to the point where sometimes my teachers had to call my dad, and my dad would say, "Put him on the phone." I get on the phone. He say, "You know what's going to happen when you get home, right?" And I'm like, oh, man. And I look, it'd be like 9:52 in the morning. 3 o'clock used to come so fast. Like, I'm like, it was just 9:52. Let me tell you something. That last 45 seconds of that game took about 2 hours. Last 45 seconds of that, I've never seen 45 seconds last that long in my life.
Well, it was more Dallas imploding than anything to do with the Eagles. The only real play that y'all called that was arrogant was the 3rd down, and you tried to go up the sideline to A.J. Brown. That was that was a bad call. You should have ran the ball there. But outside of that, though, Scrap, there's no way you can tell me that's not more Dallas imploding because y'all did nothing to stop us.
How do you implode from behind? How do you implode from behind is what I'm trying to understand.
If you first and goal at the 6-yard line with 27 seconds, and then you get the only play that y'all really got was the sack. But the delay of game, the offsides, the false start that we got, there's no. I mean, that's all Dallas. That's just Dallas.
Were you winning? Were you up at any point in the game?
Yeah, they was up.
Yes, we was up at the half.
17-14 at the half.
17-14. Yeah, we were winning at the half. Yeah.
17, like I said, 17. And then I said 17. The second half, y'all did absolutely nothing. Y'all looked good between the 20s, but once y'all got into the red zone, y'all turned into who y'all are. A horrible red zone team.
I agree with that.
That's what happened. Y'all turned into the horrible red zone team that you are.
I concur.
Okay,
They don't make
when they rank teams, they don't lie on y'all. They don't make stuff up about y'all. They don't say, hey, let's just put Dallas at 26 because we don't like them. No, that's really
just remember that defense is just as bad against the red zone. So and Scrap, there's no way you got to be concerned about your secondary, bro. I don't care. There's no way you could have this much. You think Jalen Hurts and that offense is going to be enough? And Bradbury already showed you with the penalty in the Super Bowl. Like, if y'all ain't covering him, y'all grabbing him. It's one or the other because y'all can't cover nobody. So, like I said,
can't nobody cover us.
You need. Well, y'all better have the ball last. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you. Because if it's on that defense, it's a wrap, especially against a good quarterback.
Just make sure the next 4 to 5 weeks, when y'all come on and say, and y'all, when I'm not hearing y'all hate on my team, because y'all know I'm always watching, y'all can say, the only reason the Eagles won was ... I'm saying y'all a blanket statement. Don know about statements.
Listen,
blanket statement.
Listen. It's gonna be good going down the stretch, and we're gonna see, because the exciting part is we play the Eagles. And of course, the Cowboys play the Eagles one more time. So we're gonna have definitely gonna have to have this discussion again.
I'm gonna be 3-0 on recaps. Can you believe that? I'm gonna be 3-0 on recaps, man.
That won't happen.
Gracious, man.
That won't happen.
Y'all might have to hang my jersey up in the back of y'all, man. I'm gonna be 3-0 on recaps.
That won't happen. But yo, listen. Let's quickly Corey, our resident. He can't make it.
Can't make it. Okay.
Where's my? I don't have my.
Man.
That's the
Dolphins.
That's the Dolphins fan. He's scared.
Tell him, come on, man. I'm over that already, man. Tell him I'm over that, man. He ain't got to worry about nothing, man.
Yo, let me hit him up, man. Come on.
Yeah, he said he can't make it. He trying to go on the next show. Wins the next one. Listen, I'll say this. I'm gonna give my quick take on the Dolphins. I've said this already. It showed last year. It's showing again this year. The Dolphins are a gimmick. They are a team that looks good, but when it comes time to play teams that are
going to punch
playoff teams,
over
500. I think they went something like 400, over 400 days without beating a team over 500. That is a glaring statistic. And so Miami is a nice place to visit. It's a good place. I mean, it's beautiful. Miami's a good place to visit. The weather is nice. I just think as far as their team, I think Tua's a nice guy. He's a good quarterback. They can put up a lot of points, but it's funny how when they play teams that are playoff bound or would appear to be playoff bound, all of a sudden I think against below 500 teams, they average 39 points. And when they play teams that are playoff bound, I think it drops to something like 17 points. That is crazy. That is a statistic that from the standpoint of how real do we really believe or we buy in to how good the Dolphins could be? I think it just showed again, the Dolphins lost to the Eagles. The Dolphins lost to Buffalo. The Dolphins lost to Kansas City as promised. When we had Corey on the show, we told him, hey, honestly speaking, his own words, he said if they lose to Kansas City, he would say they're on fraud alert. But he does have the same blood as my co-host. So he will find a way to say they were dominant. They were dominant in defeat too. So it does not surprise me. And maybe that's why he's not on the show. He may have came up with, we lost, but we were dominant.
D-I-D. D-I-D.
Right.
Dominant in defeat. Get the tattoo. D-I-D.
Right, exactly. They might need to do that. Because
Scrap, I hate you, man.
So that's my take on them.
Scrap,
I think
up,
until further notice, they're fraudulent, not to be believed. Sure.
I just want to say this, and this goes back to Scrap point when you talk about the play call in Philly. And y'all let me know what you think about this. I honestly think these coaches today they're not as good as the coaches of old. They're not the Landrys, the Knowles, the Schulers, the Walshes, right?
Right.
Because for whatever reason, this generation of coaches, they just got to try to outsmart you for no reason.
Exactly.
Like, when you look, it's like, why don't you stick to what works? Why don't you stick to what you know is the thing that is your bread and butter? Like, to Scrapp's point, honestly, they could push. If they weren't so scared of an injury, and poor Jason Kelce doesn't get smashed 9
Don't
straight
call him
times
poor.
in a row.
He's the best center in the league.
No, he is. No, much respect for Kelce. No, Kelce's that dude.
We got to be respectful.
But no, what I'm saying is y'all would run a push every time all the way down the field if you didn't think about, if you weren't concerned about him being under that pile 9 straight times in a row. Right. But that's what I'm saying. Just looking out for him.
You can't put 1,000 pounds on top of somebody every.
But that's my point, right? That's my point. But let's just say if that was plausible, right? You would run it. You gotta run the plays that work. The thing with Miami, what was baffling to me against the Chiefs, was when they were staying vertical, right? That's when they were beating the secondary. It's when they got cute with the slants and trying to get they was trying to run screens and just getting into all this extra stuff that all he had to do was Tua drop back, let them boys run out and just pick a target. Whoever you chose, it could be Cedric Wilson, it could be Waddle, it could be a Hill. Like, I don't understand why
any of them that can run 22 miles an hour. Pick your poison.
But that's what I'm trying to say. But why don't coaches just stick to what works? I think when you look at the McVays, the Shanahans, he did it in the Super Bowl with the Falcons in the Super Bowl when the whole world knew they should have just ran the ball. He wanted to have Brian drop back and throw. It just doesn't make sense why these coaches get so cute and they want to be all innovative or arrogant or whatever they want to be to prove the Wonder Boy status, to prove that I'm the next best thing. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I think that was part of the reason why Miami lost that game too. It was the play calling. And to Scrapp's point, even in the Eagles game. So I mean, I don't know. That's just my take on that.
I don't think that was the reason they lost, because if we're honest about it, there was never a point where you thought that Miami was going to come back. In my opinion, it never seemed like, Miami really has a shot at this. Wasn't it? Didn't Kansas City go up 14-0?
Yeah,
I thought they went up 14.
They made it a game at the end, though. I mean, they made it.
Yeah, but at the end, I mean, that's garbage time. That's what we call garbage time.
I mean, what was the score in that game? That they barely. I mean,
21-14.
Right.
What do you mean barely? But now it's what is barely?
A blowout? That's only one.
I didn't say blowout. I said there was never. You never thought that Miami was going to win the game. Ultimately, it's about the win.
Feel like they would win. Okay.
It never felt like, this game could go either way. It was just a matter of Patrick Mahomes wasn't going to lose that game. There was just no way. I didn't see that happening. But lastly, and by the way, we made our picks. Your 1-2 ride. Me and Scrap are both 2-1. Unfortunately, you picked the Cowboys and you picked Miami. You went out.
I actually thought Miami was going to win that game, but yeah. I thought Scrap picked Miami to win. Didn't Scrap pick Miami to win?
He did.
He picked Miami to win.
He did pick. Right? That was his loss.
Okay, that was his loss. You said 2-1. Oh, okay. My bad. Okay.
Yeah, because I was 2-1 because I thought Buffalo had a chance and I thought they would win against Cincinnati, but once again, Buffalo. Real quick, my take on Buffalo. Until you get, let me put up what's the thing? Until you get a run game, you got no shot. You got no shot of any significant deep run in the playoffs. You just have no shot whatsoever.
Sorry about that.
And so what they're focused on, whenever you continue to try to make Josh Allen your end all be all, you're going to run into those problems. And so I'll say this. There's going to be some major changes going on in Buffalo after this year. I'm going to predict this now. Sometimes this is very similar to how it was with Golden State, with the beginning of the season when there's some turbulence and they try to make everybody, comes before the camera. It's all good. We squashed it. Remember, Stephon Diggs was so upset that they sent him home during OTAs. There is a problem with that. Of course, he screamed on Josh Allen. You seen the coach when Josh Allen would throw a stupid interception doing this to Josh Allen. So let me tell you what I think is going to happen. Josh Allen's too big to fail. He's not going anywhere. The coach is going to get out of there. And definitely Stephon Diggs is going to want out. That team, if they don't do something and make a deep playoff run and beat some of the teams that always dominate them or seem to dominate them, i.e. Kansas City and Cincinnati, that team is going to implode. They're going to blow the team up after this year because they just can't win the big game.
You know what? The way I feel about this, right? Just to piggyback off of what Rod was saying about coaching, like, it's two things that make you watch a game different than the average fan. One, if you're betting on it, okay? Because I watch games totally different when my ticket is on the line. Because I was ready to ban the tush push 2 weeks ago against the Redskins because him not converting cost me about $1,200 because he didn't fulfill his anytime touchdown. That was the only thing that killed me. And two is when you actually coach sports. See, I'm a high school basketball and baseball coach, so I try to use common sense. And you know, I think that, like, I tell my players all the time, the shortest distance between two places is a straight line. Okay. With our play calling, we need 2 yards. Run straight for 2 yards. If not, run straight for 1 yard, and then we'll tush push the rest. Like, a lot of these coaches like to be the one that's like the innovator. You know, he recreated. Like when we got Chip Kelly, he wanted to have the 2-second offense. Okay, we're going to score in 2 minutes no matter what. No matter where we are, if we on the 1 yard line, we're going to go 99 yards in 2 minutes. That's not sustainable. Okay, you have to use your head and you got to use common sense. Any job is about, I say 25 to 30% of whatever your rule book is will die. You know what I'm talking about with rule book. Mm-hmm. You know, our rule book is about 20, 35% of our job. It just tells us what we can't do. But the other 65 to 70%, common sense. Use your brain. Okay. Don't make everything so complicated. Okay. You have to have, it's a difference between having common sense and being book smart. So a lot of people that are very book smart can recite the almanac front to back, but can't use common sense to tell them that, you know, you don't do something basic, like you don't tie your shoes together, you know, or you put your socks on before your shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just common sense is at an all-time low, it seems like, in sports, and it's really starting to be bad because, like I said, everybody wants to be that guy that recreates something, and then, you know, you pick coaches off of their tree, and then the coaches are bad because the head coach is not that good. Like Chip Kelly, like I can't even tell you where any of his assistants is that he had that was with us, because he was a horrible coach. His staff was horrible, and it's
that's true.
Good point. The Chip Kelly philosophy was never going to work, only because look how many players you have, college players. So there isn't a burnout. If you're trying to have an up-tempo offense, but you only have a 53-man roster. College, you got 85 people standing around. So you can keep people fresh, so nobody's burnt out. Try to keep that tempo going. You're going to burn players out, and then that's where the mistakes happen. That's when the defense gets burnt over the top. It's just, it isn't sustainable. Yeah. And I think everybody, that's the thing. Everybody wants to be the newest innovator because they know that the big payday and people's focus is on points being scored. Absolutely. Now, I will say this. Something I saw on one of the shows that was a very interesting stat. All of Patrick Mahomes' numbers are down this year. Eric Bieniemy, since he has left Kansas City, all statistical numbers for Patrick Mahomes is down. But if you look at Sam Howell's, all of his numbers are through the roof. Now, what are they doing? What is Washington doing that a lot of teams aren't doing? Washington Commanders throw the ball 72% of the time. So they're not really running the ball. Sam Howell, they have really good receivers. Jahan Dotson, they got Scary Terry. They have, Logan Thomas as their tight end. They have position players that can catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting in this next coaching cycle. This is what I want to get to. They basically, Eric Bieniemy should be getting a head coaching job, or at least an opportunity, off already what he's done. Maybe it's even in Washington. Maybe they roll the head coach out and slide Bieniemy in. The other thing is, of course, the Raiders job, will that be a permanent position? Is that an interim basis? That is going to be vacant. The other interesting thing is what they're doing in Michigan College with Harbaugh. They want him out. And the NCAA is doing everything they possibly can to make life difficult for him. And he may just hey, I don't need this. Or when he feels that he's going to get suspended, ultimately, say, all right, you can have it. I'm going off to the NFL. There will be teams that will take him. He is a very successful coach, and he's a winner. So I think it's going to be interesting moving forward. I think there's going to be, in this talk, that Bill Belichick is on the chopping block. They may not fire him. They may just elevate him to a different position. Get him off the sideline. Yeah. Just like they did in Tampa Bay with what's his name. They just moved him upstairs. And so it's going to be interesting. Listen, we have so much more that we're going to discuss. Bruce Arians, right. They just moved him upstairs instead of, firing him. But I think we have so much to discuss. Scrap, listen, we got to have you back because...
Oh, he's coming back.
We can easily talk for 2 hours.
We did it already.
Right, we already did it. And so we want to be mindful of the time today. So we have a lot of other things we wanted to discuss, like the Lakers begging for help and looking for the officials to bail them out. I got
more issues with the Lakers than officials. So have at it, because I'm gonna join you in the bashing of the Lakers.
Yeah, the Lakers, man. But we're gonna get to that. But Scrap, we're definitely gonna have you back, because definitely week 13, definitely week 14. You can circle that on the calendar. Those are automatic.
3-0. 3-0 on recaps.
That won't happen. That won't happen.
Yo, when they lose to the Chiefs, bro, we coming back. Yo, is he coming back when they lose to the Chiefs?
Absolutely.
I'll come back anytime, man. I'll come back anytime.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I gotta.
It's gonna, but it's so much sweeter. It's gonna be so much sweeter when they lose to the Niners and Brock Purdy gets his get back, and so I'll say this: the Eagles have a very good chance. I don't think they're going to go undefeated. I don't think they're going to not lose another game. They probably, in all honesty, will probably drop another 2 or 3.
Drop 2 more games at least.
They're going to drop at least 2.
Let me guess. The 2 against y'all, right?
Yes.
Well,
exactly.
I know week 13. That's an L.
In that case, it's 3. Okay. Y'all losing to the Chiefs. You lose to the Chiefs, the 49ers, and Dallas. So those are 3 L's. So you're going.
And so what's interesting is. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting what happened. Right. I just think Jalen Hurts' knee, hopefully, because I don't like when players aren't at full strength, because I don't want to. I mean, Rod started the show with talking about steel and talking about, this person's injury and he had this surgery and he might not be 100%. I want all your players to be 100% healthy. I want Rod's players to be healthy. I want my players, obviously, to be healthy. That way, when teams meet, we can really give a real assessment of strength to strength. It won't be, you were good, you had all your players, but Trent Williams wasn't there. Or, Micah wasn't there, or AJ
So let me
Brown.
ask you this real quick, D. Let's ask Scrap this. So, Scrap, do you feel your victory over the 49ers in the championship game is a legit win? Since they didn't have Purdy. You still think still count as a
Purdy?
It's
not
win.
Purdy got hurt during the game. He started the game. It's a legit win. That's why I say that it's a legit win, because like I said last show, it probably wouldn't have got that ugly, but we would have won that game. Like we was not losing that game. Like no, neither one of your teams is going to come into Philly and beat us in the playoffs. Okay, like that's just. I mean, that's just the harsh truth, man. Y'all can drink it. It did take it like a shot of liquor, man. It burns going down. It burns going down. I'm telling you, it burns going down, man.
Yo, Scrap is the best.
It burns going down, man. That's the harsh truth.
Well, the point that you made is that he did start the game, so that you get hurt in the game. That's different.
But another thing that's never said.
Yeah, but he got hurt in the first drive?
Series. Yeah, first
drive. Series. So that's not playing in a game and let's say halftime or start of third quarter, he gets hurt. Okay, but the first series, like you can't make a determination. Oh, it wouldn't have mattered. Look at the quarterbacks. They changed the rule based on the outcome of that game. Now you can have a third quarterback. You only had two quarterbacks. And if Jack Johnson got hurt, CMC was going to be our quarterback. Like, listen.
But listen, y'all could have had a third quarterback, but y'all didn't want to waste a roster spot on them. Y'all can have any players y'all want, but they changed it so y'all can carry, an extra designated quarterback. Y'all could have had y'all could have dressed Garoppolo. He could have been dressed, but y'all didn't want to waste a roster spot. So one of those dudes that was just sitting on the sideline could have had his street clothes on, and another quarterback could have had a uniform on. But what people never say is Shanahan's quarterbacks get hurt all the time. And Don, you probably know this more than anybody. Y'all quarterbacks are always hurt. Trey Lance got hurt, like the first game of the season last year, or last year, whatever.
Yeah,
and when y'all first got Garoppolo, he got hurt early. Shanahan's quarterback,
but some of it, Garoppolo's initial injury was on him. It wasn't. Okay. He was trying to get extra yards. He should have just went out of bounds. If you think about it, RG3's injury was based on him trying to do too much. RG3 should have known his limitations. How is it that what's his name never got hurt? He's not a mobile quarterback, but when Matt Ryan had an MVP season, he never got hurt. He wasn't a mobile quarterback. So you can function within that offense if you're smart. If you obviously having mobility helps, but if you are mobile, just don't take the extra unnecessary hits.
Well, mobile quarterbacks push the envelope more than they're more athletic, so they're going to try to make plays with their legs, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. That's just the nature of the beast. Really.
Well, we do have to watch. We do have to monitor Jalen Hurts' knee if that progresses, because he took a hit in the game. He looked, and they still beat the Cowboys.
Well, that was Lawrence, right? Lawrence hit him in the leg when he got sacked by Micah. He took it in the knee, because when he got hit, he just stopped.
Yep. Right. And let's just say this: if you wrap somebody's arm as they go into the sideline
and pull it back, and drive them into the
that was questionable. I don't know if he intended to break his forearm, but that is not a what they would say, quote unquote, a football play. It wasn't.
See, how many guys have broken their forearms from trying to use that same arm as a stiff arm? That's the risk you're going to take, and you giving that guy what leverage?
I don't think nobody ever grabbed it, held it, and drove him into the ground.
Right. I don't think.
When it happened, I'm like, what is he doing?
The probability is very low.
What else? What's the purpose of the stiff arm, right? To create separation.
To keep a distance, Right.
So what else is he going to grab? The only thing available to him to make he's got to make the tackle. He can't be like, well, I'm not going to grab your arm and wait till you get in a nice, comfortable tackle position. So when I tackle you, I can lay you down nice and soft.
But he still tackled him. He tackled him by his body, but he wrapped his arm.
Right.
He didn't tackle him by his arm. No. He still hit him.
Right,
he tackled him with his body.
Goddard is a bigger dude. Goddard is bigger.
God is bigger. Now Goddard is giants in the land. Come on now.
And then grab his body to bring him down. He's got to.
Now he want to. Yo, come on.
Tackle him. Y'all better.
It was dirty.
I mean, what are we playing flag football? And like he got to wait till he gets.
It just didn't seem. It didn't seem natural.
And I said, "Yo, he just tried to break his arm." And then when I
saw him, I said, "Yeah." So that's gonna be now the benefit of this, and then we'll roll out. I have Devontae Smith in my fantasy. That's going to make his numbers go up because those targets that would be going to Goddard is going to be going to Devontae.
I mean,
so there is some silver lining.
It'd be sweet if we put Julio there at the tight end spot. He'll be a low for a linebacker to cover.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe I'll call Nick and run it by him.
And every team got better. Every team has made. They have acquired pieces to get better, except the Cowboys. And what is the common denominator? The team that doesn't need any help loses.
All right, so let me ask you something. They got Byard last week. I mean, a couple of weeks ago. What has Byard done to improve the Eagles secondary?
He is. Let me tell you, he's been on an 8-1 team.
Repeat, right?
He's on an 8-1 team.
Rinse, wash, and repeat, huh?
He's on an 8-1 team.
He hasn't lost a game since he came to Philadelphia.
He's on a team that but he's done nothing to contribute to the wins. Let y'all tell it. It's all the offense that's winning the games, and not the back in the front seven of the Eagles defense. Byard ain't got nothing to do with that. Getting Byard didn't do nothing. He's washed. He ain't no top safety anymore.
Listen.
His best days is behind him in Tennessee.
When you play with winners, you are also a winner. Byard is a winner.
Win by what? Win. That team. This team didn't win nothing.
If Byard gets ice cream this week, he gets sprinkles.
This is true.
He gets sprinkles. Yes, he does.
Oh God. Oh Lord.
Well, listen.
It's Scrap who talk crap. He got it today, bro.
He got it. That's
always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure.
Hey, listen.
You got it. Yeah, man.
Once again, man, Scrap, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to give you a shout out to Infinite Audio for the music. Shout outs to Kingdom Creative for the production. Once again, we had a fantastic show. We went on and dissected the NFL game of Cowboys and the Eagles. We did learn something that you can dominate in a loss.
Yes, you can dominate in a loss. Yes, you can.
And there is
the phrase of the day.
Maybe we'll have some merch DID that Scrap came up with.
Please.
And we'll let you know when we have that merch for sale. DID, dominate and defeat.
Dominate and defeat. That's it.
Yeah.
But man, I appreciate you fellas, man. Thanks.
No doubt.
Until next time, peace.
Peace.